Got a little spiel. All right, let's go.
You're 24 years old and you're still going to summer camp.
I'm working at camp.
Which way are we going?
How many summers does a guy get to spend here?
A lot, apparently.
I know a few of you are first-time counselors. Phones go in the basket. Let's also remember, no drinking, no smoking. Let's get fucked up.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, Shannon.
We were talking by the fire, and
Does head mean anything to you?
She blew you?
What? No, I blew her.
Best counselor weekend yet.
Mike.
Oh, fuck!
What is happening right now?
A killer on the loose!
What?
Hello? She's dead!
What's going on?
Jason's saying that Demi's been killed.
You guys stole my fucking murder mystery party idea, didn't you?
No one knows what we're dealing with here.
I know how we could get some answers. Everybody, join hands together. We're gonna bless the board.
I don't fuck with ghost shit.
Do you fuck with getting brutally murdered outside?
The killer is someone that we all know. The killer is Jason! What? You're like 40 fucking 5 and you still go to summer camp.
Yeah! I'm only 24! So much blood.
Shut.
Oh, God, this is bad. That's so much worse than I thought it was gonna be. You know what they say? A bad day at Pine Ridge is better than a good day anywhere else.
The line's been cut. Oh, I've always wanted to say that.
We're gonna die. We're all gonna die.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Geek Vibes Interview brought to you by Geek Vibes Nation. I'm your host, Don Fisher, and today I have with me three young men of many talents. Those talents include music, acting, directing, writing, producing, and I hear they make one hell of a s'more. Here to talk about their new film, Hell of a Summer, which hits theaters April 4th, I'm pleased to welcome Finn Wolfhard, Billy Bryk, and Fred Hechinger. How you doing, fellas?
Well,
Thank you for
that
a great
lovely
Yeah, thank
introduction.
you.
Very kind.
So as a horror fan, right? There's always a hesitation when you see something new, and especially in the slasher genre, where you're like, okay, so hopefully they don't mess it up. This is something we love. Um, and I was pleasantly surprised. Like, there's this great bridge of like 80s, 90s slashers and like today's sensibilities, specifically like Gen Z sensibilities. So I'll start I'll start with Finn. So when you guys started this process of writing this film, horror movies tend to encapsulate like a generation, encapsulate the times. Was that something that you were cognizant of, like when you guys started writing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the original conversation started also with thinking about why these kind of movies don't really exist that much anymore. I mean, there's obviously great slashers that are still being released, and there's been a huge boom, in specifically in slashers, but specifically like movies about teenagers generally, I feel like we were just missing that, specifically coming of age teenage movies. And so, I grew up loving slashers and loving horror generally, and that was something that I wanted to do and Billy and I wanted to do for sort of our generation, but also kind of have a timelessness that kind of came from the coming of age comedy side of it, that because those a lot of those kind of movies haven't really existed in a while. There's one that comes out every few years. We kind of wanted to blend the two to kind of have like a timelessness and also something that identifies with our age group.
Yeah, and it definitely it definitely comes through in a great way. And I'll go to Billy. since this is a collaborative process, you guys both co-directing, co-writing, and there's this great balance of horror, great balance of comedy. Who's the funny one out of you two? Who's the one who's making sure you get the zingers in there that
I mean, I think thankfully there, and I say like I don't think there is a funny one. We're both,
I think we're both funny.
I think we're both miserably unfunny.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, I think that the part of this movie that felt so special to me in this collaboration was that it really was a movie that was born out of our friendship and out of our mutual sensibilities. And it's a movie that I think really spoke to both of us as a team and not necessarily either of us like exclusively individually. So it was always this idea of making something together. Our characters are written as being very close friends. We were like the whole process, we were so collaborative and we really had the same sort of end goal in mind. So thankfully it wasn't broken up like that. We didn't kind of have to worry about it. I think
There was no competitiveness when it came to like making each other laugh. It just was like the shared thing. And to this day, I mean, like Billy makes me laugh harder than anyone. Careful. And no, it's true. I mean, it's something that just is just what it was.
and no one makes
and
fun of Finn, his brother.
Which is true. That is true.
But also
By the
in
way.
YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
And YouTube. But nobody compares to
Yeah,
he's
to
number
Nick
one.
Wolfhard,
He's
yeah.
he's numero uno now.
and Fred, so as the lead and also as a producer, was there something in the process, maybe in like rehearsals and things that you were like, we have to have this specific thing or these specific lines or something in a very specific way that maybe as maybe like a horror fan to that you needed to have in this film to make it stand out?
To me, the biggest necessity, the thing that felt most important to push that was always there in the script was the sort of warm, funny, character-driven um, coming of age story that Finn and Billy had built into this movie. Like we were just talking about in a funny way, it's like it's a coming of age comedy that happens to be set at a slasher summer camp. And so that camp creates like a really timeless feeling and it also pushes all of the characters um to their limits in the best way. Like it really continues to reveal who they are during the killings, but at its core, the thing that they wrote that was really important always, I think, was the specific relationships and the kind of eccentricities of each character in this ensemble.
And I think this is a question I think I've always wanted to ask someone who's in horror films or is making horror films, or the aspect of a horror film. How are you coming up with the kill scenes? Like how creative do you want to go versus like something that people can easily attach to?
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to find kills that haven't been done in a lot of ways. And also for us, it always came from like character, like what specifically in this movie, we didn't want to do something where it was like, just everyone getting picked off randomly and it's sort of just being people getting killed, but like people getting killed sort of at random. It was always from a character, like from the perspective of their character, or came from a sort of like thematic match. Um, so we always started there.
And the story too, like what made sense for the story at the time. And I think because there are so many iconic kills in the slasher subgenre and the camp slasher subgenre, there can be an instinct to try to go like as crazy as possible to one up something that people haven't seen before. But that didn't feel right for this movie. Like we wanted things to feel very funny in a weird, dark way and exciting and fresh, but at the same time made sense in the movie and were possible, like it made sense that these killers would be able to do that.
Right.
And I mean, I love watching like slasher films or even like compilations of slasher films, like these like insane creative kills and these practical effects are incredible. But like freezing somebody's head and then
Just
smashing it on.
yeah.
Exactly.
So
It didn't
good.
quite make sense in this one, even though that's so awesome. So it was like, how can we go from a story and, as Finn was saying, character, start from the character and their sort of Achilles heel and build out the kill in a way that feels satisfying and new from there.
Yeah, and I think there's also that within the first I'll say the second kill, there's that kind of final destination aspect where you're gonna think twice before when you're in your we'll just say when you're in your car, you might think twice before you move as fast as you want to. And that was the first thing I thought of. I was like, oh, I'd never really thought about that potentially being a thing. Now I don't have any, killers or villains after me, I don't think, but you never know. Uh,
Gotcha. I mean, that was something that was so exciting of like a little bit of a twist on a classic of that you get in the car and the classic like, can you start the car? Can you start the car? The threat's coming and not without giving away too much. The idea being that it goes in a way that you're not expecting and that we're playing with the audience's expectation of that and also with the character's expectation in a lot of ways. But like, yeah, I remember talking about that scene and coming up with that kill and being so excited to to um to do that because there's something that felt so visually exciting about the way that that sort of revealed. So that was like that's a kill that we're really proud of because we think that also just was it was just executed in the way that we
Yeah,
wanted. Like it pretty much is like
exactly.
yeah, kind of exactly what we talked about, which is a great feeling.
and lastly, we'll go down the line. We're starting with Fred. Who is your favorite slasher icon, and what do you hope fans and audiences get out of this movie?
I play a person named Jason. I feel I must pick the Jason from the other slasher horror movie. He's a favorite. I just think he's truly iconic. Um, and what do I hope people take away from the film? I really hope that it's coming out theatrically on a bunch of screens on April 4th, and it's really important to us that it is released in movie theaters. It's meant to be seen on a big screen. Being a horror movie and a comedy, it's perfect to see with an audience. So I just really hope that everyone sees it and has their own reaction to it.
It's I'm between two, but I'll let you do the other. So I think that my favorite because I think my favorite like icon of a slasher film is Ghostface because of all the different iterations and there's so many just incredible performances that have spawned out of that like from behind that mask. So that to me like it's a bit of a cheat code, but I definitely have so much like respect for the actors who have played that part. And then the thing that I hope people will get out of it is I think there's a tendency to write off movies as being like Gen Z or from a different generation where you feel like, oh, this isn't for me. But I think a big part of what we wanted to do was sort of dispel that and be like, this is a timeless story that I think is would really appeal to everybody. And these problems that these characters are going through are very universal. And like, I don't have any issue relating to a coming of age movie from the 60s or the 70s, even though I have a completely different life experience. And I think people will come to realize that like the teenage coming of age experience has kind of been the same for the last however many years. And even though generations may feel very different, or there might be different things that they're interested in, different music that they're listening to, the problems and the things that we're facing as we come of age and we're developing are really the same. So I think that I hope that people will sort of take that away from it.
Yeah, I think Michael Myers is like an amazing character who's just like there's so much mystery that surrounds him, I feel like, and he's just like unstoppable and just like the way he walks and his costume is so great, and I just like I have so much fun watching him and then yeah, no, I hope that people go see it with friends and enjoy it and like just are able to just like have a great time. I don't know, a great time watching it.
Well, again, hell of a summer. April 4th. I enjoyed it. I think everybody else will enjoy it. I appreciate your time, fellas. Until next time.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Until
Thanks,
next time.
Tom.
Nice to
Thank you,
meet
man.
you.
Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.